Hi, I'm Cash, and welcome back to Cash Talks Football, where we break down all the goals scored in the Premier League using my over 20 plus years of coaching experience, being a sportsy agent, and loads of other little things. That was only for a little time. Sports agent, that's a long story. I'm going to put that on my Patreon, actually, talk that story through. My Patreon's pretty much everything on there is for free if you want to go over there, because I'm starting to put more videos over there in the next couple of months. Things that I can play long form and show you things that I can't really on YouTube because I can let it play. So look out for that, especially over the summer when I've got more time. But right now we're going to talk about the old Magpies running up the league. Could finish second at this rate, but there we go. We'll see if Arsenal managed to choke. And I did hear, and you've probably heard it, but I'm going to say it anyway. Arsenal, the Netflix team of England, because it's always the next series is going to be great. Like next season is going to be great. Just wait for the next one. The next one, it's the next one's going to be the best one. Yeah, as they're falling off. But this, this is just embarrassing. First off, decent run. I think it's a little Anthony Gordon here running down the wing and absolutely blisters him for pace. Turns on the inside. So let's just get to that. Does him great touch. Brilliant. Gets and then he's lost it because you see it doesn't have the because his touch didn't take it quite far enough away. Now he's lost the line and he's completely lost the ball. And this is the embarrassing part. He goes down looking for a penalty where it's never, ever, ever a penalty. Chelsea recover the ball and end up almost losing it immediately after. Now, we can't see why, because you know why. We have to look at the referee, because it's not about football anymore. It's about the referees. Didn't know if you've watched the Premier League lately, but that's all it's about. It has nothing to do with the Super League. If you have haven't watched that video, I did it about almost 2 years ago now, about how they're going to convince the fans of the Super League and what is going to happen. It's I said it years ago. All the fans were dead against it, but they're going to make refereeing so bad and the game so difficult to watch, you're going to plead for a new governing body to come in, overtake the Premier League, and it will be the Super League. It's not going to happen next year. Maybe not in the next 3 years, but it's going to happen slowly but surely. But not only that, look at this clown on the floor. He has to go back to his family and say, yeah, I'm a baby. I could have got up and played football, but I was trying to cheat. If he just played football, he would have been better. And you know what? They didn't need him anyway. But let's move it on. As Chelsea won the ball back, Newcastle won the ball back. We can look at our little baby over here crying on the ground, still waiting for a penalty. Meanwhile, his team is playing on, which so much credit to Newcastle for playing on and ignoring their teammate being a prat on the floor. Really, really good. This is important as well. It shows actual composure of the team and actual professionalism of the team. If this was certain other teams in the Premier League, not mentioning your names, Manchester United and Manchester City, they'd all be crowding around the referee screaming and looking for a penalty instead of just getting on with the game and scoring a goal. That is quality. Well done, Newcastle players, for doing that. But you can see where the gap is as well before it starts. You can see right there, bump, bump, bump. That's where our little players are. We can see one gap there and a large one over here. As we can see, this is where he's running into. Yeah. This is even more frustrating. As the ball's played, it's like, oh, it's a miracle. I'm suddenly cured. Great ball out wide. What I think is even better, though, and I'm a big fan of this, and they don't necessarily do this much in the Premier League, and there's so many reasons why. It just gets the first time ball in. It just says go and attack that. Now, look, you can see how high Chelsea's line is. I talk about this all the time when people are taking free kicks and they give them this space to play the ball into, and it always results in a shot on goal or a goal. Right now, though, whipping the ball in, and just can the runners get onto the end of it, because the defenders have to turn, and you want your defenders turned. People don't really explain why you want to turn the defender as well. The main reason why is because they're running at their own goal. And if everyone's running towards their own goal, all it takes is one little touch from anyone and it goes in the goal. That's why you want them turned. You want them turned as the ball's whipped, so they're facing their own goal, and that's the way they're going to kick the ball, and it could go in their own goal. But also, it's really easy for you then to attack it because they're facing their goal and they can't see you coming from behind them. I really should play the cross now. Boom, there it goes, straight in. Oh, look, magically, he's back on his feet. And you can see 1, 2, just running in. No one's really tracking them. No one's really paying attention. Right here, okay, so he's responsible for this player there. He is responsible for that player there. Neither of them are close enough. Maybe there, but that isn't close enough. He needs to be touch tight. Shoulder tight. That's just too far away at this level. You're just going to get beaten. And that, you might as well not even be playing the game at that point. Ball cut. It's a decent ball in, though. The ball is really what creates the goal here. As much as Chelsea are kind of over the, little bit all over the place. Then this ball comes in, bump, completely free, tapping in on the back post. Yeah, Awful, really, from Chelsea, but the quality ball makes up for all of that, and great finisher there on the back post. Let's move it on. Didn't really think this was a red card, and I'll tell you why. Because and I know, okay, I'm all about this. This is why I don't use players' names. If you've heard me talking, you know that it's a huge factor of what I don't do. I don't care about the shirt that they're wearing or the name on the back, because you automatically tailor what you're saying because it's that type of player or that sort of person. Or you know, when Darwin Núñez makes a mistake, you automatically ridiculing him because he's Darwin Núñez. You're not analysing the whole situation. Is it actually his fault? Is the defender done well? You're just going, it's Núñez, he's missed, and not being truthful. But here, and this is where I'm caveating that with, because Nicolas Jackson isn't a violent player. He's not one of those people that's going to lead up with his elbow on purpose. To me, it looks like he's genuinely making a genuine attempt for the ball. Does his elbow go up? Yeah. Does he catch him in the throat? Yeah. Is it a bit violent? Yeah. Can you say it's a red? Yeah, but I don't think I would have given it, honestly. If you watch this, Dump jumps up, he leans into him, smashes into him. Let's look at it from the other angle. See, unfortunately, on the old VAR, they don't show you, because if he did one of those, you know, when he does a shifty look at the player and then runs and elbows him, yeah, all day long. But his eyes are fixated on the ball. He's just jumping. And, you know, what the Newcastle player's running into him as he's got his arm up as well. It's a bit of both. More Jackson, I'd say 60% him, 40% the Newcastle player going in towards him. But it's not Jackson's looking to hurt the guy. He isn't trying to catch him in the throat, and he has hit him. That's why I think it's not a red. You want to keep the players on the field as much as possible. And he's just gone down a little bit too easy. Now, also in that decision, if I hadn't seen Anthony Gordon act like a complete prat and try to get a dive in the box and try and get a penalty, go down so weak, I wouldn't be so curious about whether or not he's gone down a little bit weak to try to get him sent off as well. And honestly, Newcastle is one of those teams that I would never, ever say are that type of team. And I'd hate to see that coming into their game, because their manager's not like that and their players are not like that. And sure as hell, their fans are not like that. So it's, I'm just a bit disappointed. I do have it's always funny when players get sent off. I've only ever been sent off once. I've told the story before. It's so funny. It's me, so pretty much everybody knows me when I'm playing football and where I'm playing football, and I don't necessarily know them. And the goalkeeper's like, yeah, he's calling me, yeah, he's having a bit of fun, and I'm laughing with him. And the other team's goalkeeper, when the corner comes in, he jumps out, he grabs me round and throws me to the ground, and then rolls over, puts me on top of him and goes, ref! And I'm on top of the goalkeeper. The ref looks, and it looks like I'm taking the goalkeeper out. We're both laughing. He comes up and he sends me off. And everyone's laughing because they know I'm not that guy, right? And then, off I go, red carded, wandering off. But to me, it's always funny when somebody gets sent off. I've got loads of weird stories of playing and people getting sent off, especially if you're an old vet against some young kiddies. I've got lots of little tricks to get the young kiddies sent off, because nowadays they're just not street smart on the field at all. But let's move it on. When I was watching this did have me in absolute stitches, because this is a Sunday League finish if I've ever seen it. There's a great little ball in. Honestly, he's dinked it perfectly. Bump, and all he's got to do is square it to his teammate to tap it in, and you just get yourself another goal. But do you know what someone would do in Sunday League? Try to smash the ball as hard as they can right there, come off the outside of their foot and go into the car park over there. And that's exactly what he does. Watch this. It's hilarious. Whap! It's nowhere near the goal. It's actually spun off his foot and gone away. You're just like, oh. And if you're his mate in the middle, you're just going like, why haven't you crossed the ball? It's like, well, because I'm so good, I'm going to score in this area. Now, if you haven't ever heard me talk about this before as well, I have quite often. It's called the scoring funnel. So if you're in this area here, this is where you don't take shots. This is where you cross the ball back. Unfortunately, that's happened more and more. Getting to the byline opens up the opportunity more. All the stats and statistics to go through all of that nonsense. That is a situation where you can't really take your shot. You want to square it, especially when you've got somebody open in the middle. But let's move it on. Lo and behold, it comes from it again. They're taking a free kick. You can see it's off the screen. This is where their high line is. Have a look at the 18-yard box. Okay, so let's just move it on. But I want to show you that this all comes from a free kick, from the same thing that happens at least twice a week in the Premier League. All right, and this is how awful their coaching is. And I'm going to tell you, because they've done the same advanced tactical analysis courses that I've done. They've gone through it all, and they don't understand what they're doing and the data that they're seeing in front of them. Okay, so let me just go to a better. Here we are. Okay, so now that's where the line was. Okay, so that gives them all of this space to attack into. And remember, now every single one of the Chelsea players are running back this way because they're playing such a high line. And the problem with the data and the statistics that they're using, they're not using them right. So how they generate these data models is very strange. It is and it isn't. The nuances of the game are always not included in the statistics. So unless you actually know the nuances of the game, you can't just look at the statistics and go, yeah, but that's not the real reason it's happening. And that's not what, they don't have the experience to do that. And you go, yeah, but Cash, they work for Real Madrid and Barcelona, and they know, yeah, And when I do those, talk to those people, I type and tell them that they're absolute morons and they've got it all wrong. So right now you can see, because they've opened up that space for them, ball's getting drifted across. Chelsea now have to drop off and defend, right? Well, but they were defending. Yeah, but they've got to drop off and defend. If they're dropping off and defending, what are they not doing? Pressuring the ball. If they do pressure the ball, what happens? That means they step further forward and they open up more space. So they can't really pressure the ball in the situation they are, because they're going to open up the space a little bit more, right? So they have to drop off to come forward. Here you go. Now they've dropped off. Now they can start coming forward to pressure the ball, right? And you go, yeah, but that's all it takes. So after they've dropped off, now they can start pressuring the ball and seeing what can happen. As we move it forward, there we go. We've got the pressure on the ball. Now they're sort of setting their defensive shape a little bit, but they're not really. So what does that mean? Not really. So they're kind of out of sync a little bit, because in this 1v1 out here, we've got our little 1v1. If they get beaten, if he gets beaten there, do you see the cover isn't quite close enough? Because they've just gone back and they didn't get back into their shape properly. They got back in their shape panicking because they were too far forward from the stupid high line of free kicks. That happens every week if you watch my videos. Every week this happens. It's insane. So now just one Newcastle player comes from here, connects with a little pass, and now he turns and runs. Have a look at the first step where the midfielder is going. Again, it's away from the ball, where he needs to step up to that ball right there. But here's the problem. They were just defending a set piece, and with it in not even 5 seconds ago, they were running back towards their goal to take that space away. So the thing that he's supposed to do is pressure the ball isn't in his head, because he was just backing away for that set piece that was happening. Now what happens is he gets to step in, take a touch, look at where they've all gone again. They've all stepped backwards. Why? Because they can't step forwards, because they allowed that space to come in and they weren't set in the first place. Instead of being set, defending the set piece and squeezing and going forward, when the set piece happened, because they were so far forward, they're dropping and they're dropping and they're dropping and they're dropping and they're dropping. Yeah. It's honestly, I always joke at how bad the coaching is. It's awful. It really is awful. When people think that they could do a better job, yeah, probably. Ask Wayne Rooney. He's won only 26% of all the games he's coached. Yeah, awful. But this is a great shot. Honestly, all of that taken away and having the space here, he's still got to get a kick it in the net box, and he does it. Bush, loops the keeper. Scores himself a worldie, gets himself a pat on the back as the Magpies challenge. Maybe they're going to finish second and really ruin Arsenal's season. But next year, Arsenal are going to win it. And I'll see you next time on Cash Talks Football.